Hello everybody, and welcome back to Factorio. Last time we started trains, woohoo! We have coal trains. But you can see we're using fast inserters. So what we want to do now is we want to automate stack inserters, so that way we can do things even faster. So here's what we're going to do. I don't have any room here to throw stack inserters on there unless I do some funky fast inserter out some fast inserters onto a belt kind of thing, which maybe, but I don't know, it feels wrong to do that. So let's see. Let's take a quick look. Stack inserters need advanced circuits, green circuits, and fast inserters and iron gears. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to run up here. Maybe what I'll do is, because we're so close to bots, I think what I'll do is I'm just going to build it down here, one component at a time. So let's see. So first we want the fast inserters, which requires regular inserters. So here we want iron plate, iron gears, and circuits. And then for fast inserters, we want iron plates and circuits. And then for this, we want iron gears and circuits, advanced circuits, and fast inserters. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we do something like, let's see, I'm just going to go something like that. Actually, I think I'm going to want to load it on that side. And then what I'm going to want is I'm going to want gears. So let's go ahead and do gears. So I'm going to do in and then out. And I don't know if that's going to be enough gears. Let's see. How many gears do we need? 15, and that needs 1. Let's do 2 of these just to be on the safe side. Okay. So that's one of the resources. And then let's combine the green and red circuits onto a belt, which means I actually want to split the red circuits and have them go backwards up the bus. So let's do that too. We're going to go that way. You're going to go this way. And then you're going to go this way. Like that. We're going to run this back up. And we're going to keep running it up. Oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. Why do I have green circuits on there? Why do I have green circuits on there? What's happening? There shouldn't be any green circuits on there. Oh! Crap, that's why. That's why. I thought it was just going to go over nicely. I didn't realize I had to do that manually. But okay. Okay. Crisis averted. Okay, let's keep running this up. Okay, that's far enough, I think. So now what we're going to do is we are going to do what we already do. So we're going to want to do green circuits, and then we want red circuits. So now we want to go ahead and do something like that. And then something like that. There we go. And now we've got red and green circuits together. So now what else do we need? So we've got the gears, we've got the circuits, we got the plates, we got the circuits, we got the plates, we got the inserter. We can do the inserter. Now we just need, no, I think we got everything. Sweet, we got what we need. So let's start with the inserter. So inserter is going to pull from there and there. And then we're going to have it output this way. And then this is going to do blue inserter, which is going to want to pull from there, and then output this way into the stack inserter, which we're going to put into a box and limit to like 4. And then while we're at it, we can also do the filter stack inserter. And then pull from there and there. How much of each? A lot. So let's do 2 of those. And then from there, let's do like 3 of those. How many of those do we need? Oh, just 5. Never mind, we're good. Just 2 of those is fine. Okay. So then we'd go turn that on, turn that on, turn that on, turn that on, and turn that on. Okay, what's the holdup? The holdup is the green circuits. But there's not too much we can do about that. Let's also just lower this down to 2 stacks, so that way things will stack up. And then we can also use circuitry here, right? So let's go ahead and do that, because I want some stack inserters before all the filter inserters take it. So we want at least, let's see, we want at least 50 stack inserters, I think is what I want. There we go. So now once we have 50 stack inserters, then it will start to take. That way we always have some stack inserters. Maybe even 100 actually. Especially because I want the stack inserters now, so that way I can update the train stations. And it looks like we're not quite getting gears fast enough. So let's go ahead and add some more gears. There we go. Now we can fit one more. Lots of gears, as always. So many gears. There we go. All right. So while that works, let's go ahead and start working our way towards blue science, and then we can go and fix the train stations in a little bit. So let's take a look at blue science. Blue science needs sulfur, advanced circuits, and engines. So the sulfur we have on the bus, the advanced circuits we have on the bus, so engines. So if we look at blue science, it takes 24 seconds to craft. That means we're going to need to make a lot of blue science. I'm probably going to want to make like 24 in order to get 1 a second, that kind of thing. Or 24, yeah, 1 a second, I think is how that works out. So to get 24 engines, how long do they take to craft? Engines take 10 seconds to craft. So that means we need 3 No, sorry, one engine. One engine can serve 2 of these. So just to be on the safe side, I think I'll build like 12 engines. Right, it's a lot. 12 engines and then 24 chem science packs, and then we'll monitor and see how it goes. So let's work our way back down the bus. Working our way down the bus. Working our way down the bus. Alright, let's go ahead and extend the bus. The blue science is going to be really nice because it unlocks a lot of stuff for us. A lot. It is lovely. Okay. So I'm going to leave some space. So I'm going to do something like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spaces away, something like that, before I start. Okay, and then let's see, engines need gears and pipes. So we need, how many engines did I say I was going to do? I was going to do 12, so I'm going to need 2 iron gear machines to feed that. And then pipes take half a second, so I get 2 a second. So let's see. Trying to think how that works. For some reason, I'm not mathing very well today. So let's see. So pipes, I get 2 a second. It takes 10 seconds to craft this. This takes 2 pipes. So let's just convert that to 1. So we get 1 a second, takes 1 pipe. So that means 1 pipe machine can take 10 of these. So I think I need 2 gears and 2 pipes in order to do my, what did I say I was going to do? 12 engines. So yeah, let's start with that. So this side can do gears, this side can do pipes. And then we're going to output onto both sides of this one belt. We're going to want iron on both sides, right? So that means we're going to want to do some kind of splitter stuff when we pull the iron off. Copy. Did I forget to paste that last one? Yes, I did. There we go. And then let's paste here too. There we go. Let's get this stuff powered on. So now we've got that. So now for the mass of engines. So engines also need steel. So we'll bring the steel in. And we'll bring the steel in alongside probably the sulfur or the advanced circuits. Let's bring the steel alongside the sulfur. So let's do that. I think I'm going to go ahead and bring it along here. Okay. So first, let's worry about the advanced circuits. So there's the advanced circuits. And then we want the steel. To also side load onto the advanced circuits. There we go. So now we've got the advanced circuits in the steel. And now we can do the engines. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Was that what I said before? 10 seconds, 24 seconds. Yeah, that should be fine. That should be fine. Again, we'll monitor and we'll expand as needed. If we need to rebuild this, then we need to rebuild it. Totally fine. Okay. Now let's see here. The engines don't need the iron plates. I don't think this needs the iron plates either. No, it does not. So we're going to do some of that action. And then some of this action. So we want input, 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 in, and then we're gonna output this direction. Onto the far side of a belt. So we can actually bring the sulfur up on the near side of the belt. So let's try to do that, actually. There we go. Sulfur on the near side of the belt. And then engines can go on the outside of the belt. There we go. So now just double checking here. We need the red circuits, sulfur, and engines. So we'll just drag all this stuff along. Like so. What does it need the most of? Either way, it's going to be fine. So now we can do 24 of these guys, I think. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4. Phew, that's a lot. And then we're going to input, 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 input. All that fun stuff. Output this way. Input this way as well. Sorry if you guys can hear the vacuum upstairs. My wife is cleaning. My mom is actually coming to visit tomorrow, so it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. It's always a good time to have my mom come and visit. She is cool, and my wife is in that cleaning mode freak out stage where you want to make sure the house is super clean, right? In order to just make the person who's coming to visit as comfortable as possible. And so my wife's in that freak out stage. All right, let's go ahead and power this on and make sure everything is working. We are almost out of power poles too, holy cow. We need to do something about that. And by do something about that, I mean let's go shopping at the mall. once we're all done getting this set up. Assuming we actually have enough power poles to finish getting it set up, which we do not. But it does look like they are working. So that's good. So let's get more poles. We also need more blue inserters. Let's also take a look at our stack inserter, see how that's going. Let's add stack inserters to our hotbar too. There we go. Lovely. Got stack inserters that we need. We've got the blue inserters. We got some more red inserters. We've got some more red belts. Have plenty of stuff we don't need. Let's see, where is our... There they are. There's our poles. And then let's clear up some stuff that we don't need. So we do not need green circuits. We do not need the red circuits. In our inventory, I mean. We do not need the wood. We do not need the iron. We do not need the steel. The plastic I can get rid of down here in our red circuit production. The sulfur I can get rid of in our blue science production. Red circuits I can get rid of again up here. There we go. And then batteries I can get rid of in the accumulators. There's my batteries. There we go. What else can I get rid of? Oh, I need some more. Oh no, I don't. I've got plenty of assemblers. Everything else looks okay. Let's go ahead and drop these extra belts off. These yellow belts that we get occasionally by doing work. Let's get some more steel chests while we're at it. Where did I build those? Down here, I think. By the steel furnaces. There we go. So let's grab some more of those. Let's grab some more signals, just in case we need to expand rails. Okay, we're in pretty good shape. So let's go route up our blue science and have it merge with the military science. After we finish powering everything on, of course. So we're just gonna run along up here. Do a little snake in action. There we go. Merge that onto the military science. And then let's monitor our blue science to make sure it's all working. It looks like we don't have enough engines to keep everything happy. So we need more engines. More engines. So how do we want to do more engines? Because that means I mathed it wrong. So let's double check this. So this takes 24 seconds to craft. Engines take 10 seconds to craft. So that means I can do 2 engines by the time I get 1 chemical science, plus a little bit of extra leeway. So in theory, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 engines should be able to handle 24 blue science. I'm not sure why it's not. Yeah, there's still some that aren't working. Alright, let's build like 4 more. It's gonna be a little snaky, but snaky is fine. And then we're going to also do how do I want to do this? I think what I want to do is I want to go ahead and do something like this. And then I'm going to have to do a lot of underground action here. So we want to input here. So I want to input here. And then I need to grab these from all the way over there. So what I'm going to want to do is do something like this. There we go. Those will grab from there, and then these will grab from here. What they need for these engines to work. And then we'll go ahead and we'll output on the back. And then we will merge this like that. There we go. So that should greatly increase our number of engines. Okay. And then hopefully that will keep all the chemical science happy. It is called chemical science, right? Yeah. Oh, each one actually gives 2 chemical science. That's convenient. So yeah. Hopefully once all these engines kick in and these engines kick in. Good, all the engines are all working. Which is lovely. So now that should be keeping all the chemical science happy. And now let's go over to, well, we don't need to actually go over. Let's take a look at our lab setup. Make sure that they are happy. Yep. Alright, they're getting blue science. Hooray, blue science! Let's go ahead and start research. So blue science is going to give us a lot of important research actually, which is really cool. The most important ones are going to be your advanced oil processing. And then the second most important ones are going to be your robots. So let's go ahead and start researching everything more or less, right? So advanced oil processing first. And then we'll want lubricant. And then we'll want electric engines. Electric engines are going to allow us to get robotics, which will allow us to get construction robotics. And where's the other one? And logistics robotics. And then from there we'll start upgrading our actual robots. Let's also get personal roboports. That'll be nice. So yeah, let's start those. Let's start those. Again, just watching. Wow, the chemical science is still not happy. Even with all the extra engines. Jeez. Then I need to basically make an engine for each one of these? Well, I mean, they're almost all happy. but they're just not quite all happy. But it'll back up eventually. I think everything will work out, but yeah, it's a little obnoxious. So now we're starting to get all the researches done. Awesome. So now from here, let's head on back up to our oil refining, and we're going to work towards our advanced oil processing. And I will be right back. Alrighty, welcome back. So yeah, so our research is moving. We've got advanced oil, so let's go up to our oil refining and let's start working on upgrading it in order to actually leverage the advanced oil processing that we just got. This is where a lot of people start to get really scared of oil, right? Because right now, the production is relatively basic, right? We take crude oil, we convert it into petroleum, we use the petroleum to make plastic and sulfur, we use the sulfur to make sulfuric acid, we use the sulfuric acid to make batteries. Pretty straightforward chain. And yeah, things are going to get a bit more complicated, but we'll get there. It's going to be okay. So we're going to go ahead and just start converting everything over, and everything's going to stop, but no worries, we're going to fix it. So first we're going to go ahead and change the recipe to this advanced oil processing. And then we're going to go ahead and just run that all along here. And now what you're noticing is everything is all blocked off, right? First, you also see that all the arrows came back. So how advanced oil processing works, right, is it takes crude oil and water, and it creates the petroleum, which we're already using, but it also creates two additional products. It creates light oil and heavy oil. Light oil is used for some things, and heavy oil is used for some other things. Heavy oil can be what's called cracked down into light oil, and light oil can be cracked down into petroleum. So that way, if you have too much heavy oil, you can make light oil. If you have too much light oil, you can make petroleum. And if you have too much petroleum, well, consume more petroleum. That's basically how that's going to work. Now, in order to make this run smoothly, we are probably going to use a little bit of circuitry magic in order to do that. But just remember, you don't have to use circuits. But if you decide not to use circuits, which I didn't do for my first few rockets, you will have to come back up here occasionally and flush your pipes or add more storage tanks or something like that in order to make sure that you don't get backed up. Because if you remember, when anything backs up at all, the entire process will stop. So let's say, for example, we get backed up on petroleum, right? If we get backed up on petroleum, it's going to stop producing light oil and heavy oil too, because it's all backed up. Likewise, if we back up on heavy oil or light oil, it's going to back up the petroleum too. Basically, if any of these three resources backs up, the entire refining process stops. So we want to make sure that we're always using all the resources. Also, like I said, we need water as an input, so we need to make sure we go get water too. So let's go ahead and grab our pipes, and then I'm going to show you guys a cool structure where you can, and this is why I built the underground pipes like this, right? So that way you can keep them separate. So we're going to have the crude oil go in the first layer, and we're going to have the water go in the second layer, because again, you can't mix pipes. You can't mix water and crude oil together. It doesn't work. So you have to keep them separate, and this is how you can keep them separate. And then from there, we're going to go ahead and use the underground pipes to go in between. We're probably going to need to go get more pipes because we're going to use a lot of pipes. There we go. So now let's go get some water. So we're going to go and just drag this along. Woo! And we're going to get some water. Perfect. Let's grab one of our offshore pumps, which I think are still in my inventory. Yes, lovely. And then we're going to get water. So now we've got water. So now you see that these things are turning on again, which is great. It's refining the petroleum, but it's going to get blocked once the petroleum, it's going to get blocked once it fills up on light and heavy oil. So you'll see these shut off as we continue to work. So following a similar pattern to the crude oil and water, we can do the same thing with the light and heavy oil, so that way we can keep them separated as well. So we're going to do something like this. Light oil will be layer 2, and heavy oil will be layer 3. Petroleum will keep it layer 1. Whoops. But once we get this set up, if we do our circuits right, we should be able to, in theory, set it and forget it once we get it set up. But I'll be honest, I've never actually done the circuits by myself before, so I'm probably going to mess it up in this video, and that's okay. You can see the learning process as it happens. In the past, for the circuit setups, I've used Catherine of Sky's blueprints again. But this time I'm going to try to learn them for myself, so that'll be a good time. And I'll show you guys what I mean by the circuit magic, more or less. Once I start working on it, I'll explain my thought process as I go along. But basically, we're going to use circuits to help us balance these 3 resources, so that way, ideally, they never get blocked. Okay, so now we've got all 3 resources. We've got the petroleum, which we've already hooked up and started using. We've got light oil, and we've got heavy oil. We've also finished up the research that we already queued, so now I'm just going to start queuing stuff up left to right, because we're going to get a lot of research done with the blue science. So we're just going to research everything like I've been doing. Okay. So now what do we use light oil for, and what do we use heavy oil for? So the light oil, let's go ahead and take a look at our recipes here, right? So light oil, like I said, can be cracked down to petroleum gas. Heavy oil can be cracked to light oil. Light oil can be used to make solid fuel. Heavy oil can be used to make solid fuel. Petroleum can be used to make solid fuel. So this is how we're going to basically expend any extra resources we have. Heavy oil makes lubricant, which we're going to need. So that's what we'll use our heavy oil primarily for, is for lubricant. The light oil we'll primarily use for solid fuel for the time being. Eventually we'll also be using it for rocket fuel. But for now, we don't have rocket fuel, so solid fuel will be. We also have access to bots. We're going to want to start automating those soon. All right. So let's go ahead and get to work on this. So I have to think about this for a little bit. So again, we have the petroleum already set up. I'm going to go ahead and put tanks in place. Do I have tanks in my inventory? I've only got 1. Okay, let's go back and get more pipes and tanks. Let's go back and get more pipes and tanks. The walk of shame. Well, I call it the walk of shame. It's not really that shameful. Let's also just make sure that our labs are getting all the science they need. They're not getting enough blue science yet, but it's all good. We're making the blue science as fast as we can. But we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. I always overbuild labs. So it's all good. It's all good. So anyway, we're back at our mall. What did I say we needed again? We need pipes, which are all the way over here, because of course they are. So let's go ahead and grab like all these pipes. And then let's also grab a lot of these underground pipes. We're going to need a lot of them. And what was the other thing I said I needed? I needed storage tanks. That's right. Storage tanks. Where do we have those? Hopefully by the other oil stuff that we've been building. Where are storage tanks? Oh, here we go. Yay, storage tanks! Alright, so let's build some of those. Or let's get some of those. Let's put this 1 back. And then do I have anything extra in my inventory I want to get rid of? Yes, I have advanced circuits I want to get rid of. So let's go down here and get rid of those. There we go. Let's get rid of any steel that we can get rid of. So what uses steel? I think all of these things use steel, right? Yes. So let's get rid of that there. Let's get rid of that there. Personal batteries I'm going to go ahead and keep for a little while longer. That's fine. Everything else looks okay. We can get rid of the stack filter inserter because I don't really care about it at the moment. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of that by doing this. There we go. Okay, anything else we can get rid of? I think we're doing okay. Okay, so I want the tanks, and the reason why I want the tanks is, again, to act as a buffer, right? Ideally, our refining setup will constantly use all the resources, right? But eventually some things will start to back up, and the tanks will act as a buffer to help us out. We can also use the tanks to help us with our circuitry, with our circuit magic, where we can read the contents of the tank to see how much of something is in there, and then use that as a condition to enable or disable something like a pump. So that way we know, oh, if there's this much oil, then we'll go ahead and use this pump in order to use it, primarily for basically routing extra oil to solid fuels. So yeah, let's get going. So what I want to do now is right now we're directly routing the petroleum to the plastic, and I don't really want to do that anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that and remove this, and then instead I want to route the petroleum from somewhere else. So I'm actually going to put the tanks like all the way out here just to, again, use the space. Use the space. So let's see here. I'm going to put tanks here. Do I already have pumps out? I'm going to put pumps here. Okay. So first, I'm going to go ahead and stick a tank here for the petroleum. So let's go ahead and route the petroleum there. I'm just kind of eyeballing it, so if I'm a little off, that's fine. Okay. So there's the petroleum going into the tank. Well, it will eventually. And then we're going to use a pump to pump the petroleum out of the tank, and we'll need to power that. And then we're going to put a power line here, and then drag it down here in order to get everything hooked up to electricity, right? So now we have a pump, and it's going to go to plastic. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Now we need to also put another tank for the light oil and another tank for the heavy oil. And I will be right back. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. Life will get you from time to time. So where were we? Okay, so we've got the petroleum hooked up. Let's also get the light oil hooked up. So I'm going to go ahead and throw it like here-ish, right? Again, using space. Using lots of space. So now we are going to go ahead and get the light hooked up. And just kind of eyeballing it here. Think about there. Again, if I have to correct it, I'll correct it. Looks like I was one off. So I'm just going to throw another pipe on there. There we go. Easy peasy. Now let's do the same for heavy. Again, just going to use some extra space there. And then we're going to also want to pump here with power. And we're going to want a pump here with power. There we go. Now we've got heavy. So now everything's clicked back on, right? But now our tanks are going to start filling up. Our petroleum's not really filling up because it's getting used. Our light oil and our heavy oil, though, are starting to fill up. So now we want to do something about the light oil, and we want to do something about the heavy oil. So let's start with the heavy oil because we already have a recipe that we can use for that, right? We've got the lubricant. So let's start with the lubricant. So for the lubricant, I'm thinking we can put it... Let's see, where do I want to put lubricant? Also, we're probably going to want more chemical plants, but it's all good. We'll go get them when we need them. So let's see, for lubricant, I'm just trying to think to myself how much of that we're going to need. We don't typically use a lot of it. So I think, let's also put these down here. That way we can get access to them nice and quick. All right. So I think for lubricant, I'm going to go ahead and stick it up here-ish. Something like that. Something like that. So let's take a look at the recipe, right? It's just heavy oil, so it's very straightforward. And I think we'll just do like 3 of them, because again, we don't use a lot of lubricant. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to do a pipe in, and we're going to do a pipe out. And then we want this pipe out to go to another storage tank. You guys are kind of getting it now at this point, I imagine. That we're basically taking everything, putting it into a tank, and then going from the tank to wherever we need it. So we're gonna go here. I think I might actually rotate the tank this time. Yeah, I think I'll rotate it this time. There we go. So I have that hooked up. Let's go ahead and get this hooked up to power. There we go. And now we need to get the heavy oil hooked up. So we're going to go ahead and get it hooked up. So I'm going to throw a pipe on here. Let me also throw a pipe on here just to make things nice and obvious. And then we're going to go ahead and route our heavy oil. And there we go. Now we have lubricant. And then we're going to want to use the lubricant eventually, so we're going to also use a pump for that. And I think I'm going to pump it that way. There we go. So there's the eventual lubricant. So now we're using the heavy oil and we're turning it into lubricant. The lubricant takes a little while to make, but like I said, we don't use it all that much, so it's fine. How much does it actually make? It makes 10. So it converts 10 heavy oil into 10 lubricant. So we're making like 30 lubricant a second. So again, it's not that much, but you know, it's something. Okay. And again, we're blocked because what's blocked up? Light oil's blocked up. Heavy oil's not. We're using the heavy oil, but light oil is now blocked up. Let's go ahead and keep queuing up research. Okay. So now we need to use the light oil for something, right? So we can crack the light oil if we want to petroleum, because we're using a lot of petroleum. So that's one thing we can do. And yeah, I think we can start with that. So for the cracking also requires chemical plants, I believe. Let me just place a chemical plant down, and yeah, cracking from light oil to petroleum. Perfect. So we need to do the walk of shame again. Go get some more chemical plants because we're going to need them. Yep, we're not making enough blue science for our labs, but that's okay. We're still getting our research done at a rapid enough pace, at a faster pace than we are building, so no concerns. No concerns. Chemical plants for me. I need chemical plants, chemical plants, chemical plants. Where are you? You're over here. So let's grab like 2 stacks of those. We're gonna need those. Is there anything else that we can get while we're here that's really important? Refinery is not really. Pipes were good. Pumps were good. Storage tanks were good. I think we're okay. Power poles were good. Circuits were good. Or circuit cables were good. Cool. So let's head back up and keep working. And keep working on it. So we're going to go ahead and crack light oil into petroleum. Now again, I don't know the exact counts for how much of this I want to do, so I'm going to start with something like 5 chemical plants worth of it. I might need to add more later, I might need to lower it, but we can use circuits to kind of help out, right? So I'm going to go ahead and set up the cracking over, I think I'll set it up here. Yeah, it's fine. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to go light to petroleum. And then that needs water and light oil, right? So we're going to do that 2-layered system. So light oil to water. And then we are going to want to route our petroleum that we get back into the petroleum tank, right? So let's do that. There we go. And then let's go ahead and set up our 2-layered structure here. So light oil is going to come from our light tank, right? So we're going to go ahead and do that. There we go. Let's go ahead and add some power poles here as well, because we do want everything nice and powered on. Let's also throw some lights here for good measure. And now we need water. So we're already getting water elsewhere, right? We're getting water down here for our refineries, and I doubt we're using that much water. There's probably still plenty. Yep, there is plenty. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to use that water. So I'm just going to borrow that, and I'm going to just run it up here. Let's see. Yep, that should work. I'll put it right there. And then we're just going to run it up this way. So it looks confusing. There's lots of pipes everywhere, right? But as long as you think it through as you're building it, it's no big deal. And like I said, if you build it well, maintenance should not be too much of an issue. So now we've got everything we need. Let's go ahead and power it on. Right? So now we're cracking light oil into petroleum, right? Now, do we want to keep doing that forever? No, probably not. We probably only want to crack light oil to petroleum if we have too much light oil. So what we can do is we can do a circuit for that, right? So we can say, we can add a pump here. So let's go ahead and take that off. Let's add a pump. Let's add a pipe, and let's add an underground here. Throw on some power. So now we have a pump here working, right? So here's what we want to do. Let's see if I can get this right the first time. I might not, and it's all good if I don't. No worries at all. So we're going to grab a circuit, and I'm going to have this tower read this tank, right? So if we look at the tower now, let's see, can I see it there? No. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the tower relay the information to this pump, but that's too far away, so I need another tower. So let's go ahead and put another tower. Can I relay the wire from here to this tower? I can't. Oh, yep, there we go. Perfect. And then I'm going to go ahead and relay this to the... Why can't the wire reach? I guess because I need another tower here. Now let's try doing it that way. So let's go from tower to pump. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. So now if we look at the pump, let's see here. Can I see? So we want to enable it. Okay, there we go. If we hover over the eye, we can see what's in the network, right? So right now, what I've done, right, is I've connected the storage tank, which knows how much light oil is in it, to this pole. All this pole is doing is just going to relay the information to wherever else I send it. So this cable, this red cable here, knows how much light oil is in the tank. We're going to connect a cable here. We're going to connect a cable up here just to keep relaying that information, and then we're going to connect that cable here to the pump, so that way the pump, when we hover over this eye, the pump knows how much light oil there is in the tank. So now we can set a condition, right? So we can say we want to enable this pump if there is greater than some amount of light oil, right? So if there's too much oil, we'll go ahead and we'll crack it, right? So let's say something like, I don't know, 10,000, something like that. If there's more than 10,000, of light oil, then go ahead and crack. And you can see now it's turned on, because in the storage tank, we've got 23,000 stored up. So it's going to go ahead and it's going to crack the light oil into petroleum until we get to 10,000 or less. So that's awesome. We're going to want to do a similar thing to the heavy oil. Right now the heavy oil is all being used for lubricant, but eventually the lubricant's going to fill up and back up, right? So we're going to want to do the same thing. So let's go ahead and set up heavy oil cracking. And I'm just going to set it up here, just a couple rows up. So let's do 5 of that too. 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4. Throw some lights on there for good measure. And we're going to go heavy oil to light, right? So that's how we're going to do that. Heavy oil to light. So that means we need water and we need heavy oil. So we're going to go ahead and route the heavy oil up. So we have heavy oil here coming out of the tank. And we can go ahead and take off of this, right? So I'm going to go ahead and just add another couple of pipes here, and then an underground pipe, and then an underground pipe here, and we're just going to pull it up. And then I'm going to want to do a similar thing here, right? So I'm going to go ahead and put pipe, 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 2 pipe, 2 pipe, 2 pipe, 2 pipe, 2 pipe. And then we're going to go ahead and do a pump. And this is a little, let me make this a little less sloppy. Let's go ahead and put the pump down first. So I want the pump to go about there. And then I want that to come out. And then I'm going to go ahead and connect that to that. Like that. There we go. Perfect. And let's go ahead and get that connected. And then we'll get that connected here. And then we're going to connect the heavy oil together, right? The heavy oil to our circuit network. So we're going to go from the tank to the tower, but it's not far enough. So we need to put a tower here as well, it would seem. So we're going to go from tank to tower, and then from tower to tower, and then from tower to pump. So now, if this tower is holding all sorts of fun stuff, right? So now if we look at this pump is aware of both the light oil and the heavy oil, right? All right, sorry about that, guys. I'm probably gonna have to edit that out. So if it jumps a little bit, it's because I got a national alert test thing. So that was obnoxious. All right, let's go ahead and continue. So now that the pump knows how much heavy oil is there, we can set a similar condition, right? So we want to go ahead and enable the pump if there is more than, again, I'm going to use like 10,000, right? 10,000 heavy oil. And then we need to go ahead and take our light oil and output it back into our system. So we'll want to do that. So we're going to go ahead and put pipes here, 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 and here. And then underground pipes connecting the bunch. Again, I'm just kind of eyeballing it. I hope I got that right. Looks like I did. Lovely. So now we have heavy oil cracking to light oil if there's too much heavy oil. We have light oil cracking to petroleum if there's too much light oil. And right now there's still too much light oil, so we're going to continue to crack. In fact, I'm probably going to expand this. Let's go ahead and add a few more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a total of 10. And you can see this is really easy to expand because, again, I'm just leaving space, right? Leaving space for everything. Oh, I didn't actually set up the water yet. Phew! I almost forgot to do the water part of that cracking. I did the circuitry before I was all done. There we go. And then throw in our power poles here. And some more lights. Let's see. There, there, and there. And there we go. We've expanded that, so that should bring our light oil back down a bit more quickly. And you can see our petroleum's actually starting to fill up, so we're going to have to use that sooner rather than later, right? And that's all good. That's kind of how the oils balance out. And if the petroleum backs up, then everything else will back up and everything else will be fine, right? Because petroleum is the most base of our breakdown. So if there's too much petroleum, that's okay. Because the petroleum will constantly get used, right, to make everything else. And then everything else will start to click back on. Something else that's kind of cool is if you look at the tanks, there's a little bar here that shows you how full they are, so that way you don't have to hover over it. So you can see this light oil tank is almost full, even though we're cracking a lot of light oil. Why aren't all of these working? Oh, I didn't put the outputs. Oh my goodness, I am forgetting all sorts of stuff. I am forgetting all sorts of stuff. We need the outputs. Oops. There we go. Now the light oil should be going down. Let's also hook up the water while we're here. So I'm going to go ahead and undo that for a moment. So I can do... I kind of got myself in a bind there. Let's go ahead and throw another pipe here. And then an underground there. And then eyeballing it. Well, not eyeballing it, but we're going to put that there. And then a pipe there, and there we go. We are connected to water. So now we're cracking the heavy oil into light oil if there's too much heavy oil, which right now there is, right? So now we're back to 10K. And once it gets at 10K, you'll notice the pump will click on and off, right? So right now it's working. Eventually it should stop working. Is that just because our lubricant's full? Yep, lubricant's full. So it's going to sit there and crack forever. And then we're going to go ahead and crack the light oil into petroleum for now. And there we go. So now we've got this pretty well balanced out, which is lovely. Lovely, lovely. Is there any other oil product that we need to use? Oh yeah, so we can do solid fuel, right? So let's go ahead and do solid fuel. We can use that solid fuel to fuel our trains. Things like that. Because solid fuel is a lot better at fueling stuff than coal is. So we can use that solid fuel. So let's go ahead and set that up. So we're going to set that up. Let's see, what does that need? It just needs light oil. Oh, easy peasy. Okay. So for solid fuel, we're going to do something like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, something like that. Light oil to solid fuel. And then solid fuel gets output onto a bell. So we've got that. So outputs. Throw some lights on here. There we go. Throw a power pole in between there. And then again, we're going to want to go ahead and set up the light oil, and we're going to throw a circuit on there in order to make sure that the light oil will only get turned into solid fuel above a certain threshold. Because eventually we'll want the light oil to be used for rocket fuel, so we don't want to use all the light oil on solid fuel. We just want to, we have a tiered system as far as how we want to use the light oil, right? So the tier that I'm thinking of, right, is our petroleum is the base. So we only want to crack light oil to petroleum when there's no other option. And right now, why isn't all of this cracking? Oh, it's because our petroleum is full. Okay. So we only want to crack light oil to petroleum if there's no other option. That's our last option to stop our light oil from getting too full, right? We would rather have solid fuel from light oil. So we have currently set up our cracking to happen at 10,000 light oil. We might increase that to, let's say, 15K, right? As our last resort kind of thing. So we want to set another thing lower than that 15K, right? So once it gets to, let's say, like 7,000, then go ahead and start doing solid fuel. And then if solid fuel's backed up, then go ahead and resort to cracking, right? So let's go ahead and get all this hooked up. So now we need to get the solid fuel, or sorry, the light oil. Oh my gosh, talking today. So we're going to take the light oil from here, and then we're going to go here, and then pipe, and then pump, pipe, underground pipe. There we go. And then again, we're going to want to power it on, and then we want to connect our circuit to it. So we're going to go there, and then we're going to go there. So now our pump is now aware of light and heavy oil, right? So now we want to go ahead and say, go ahead and enable this pump if light oil gets above, let's say, 7,000. So then this will kick in and we'll get solid fuel, right? And you can see we're already getting solid fuel. Now, our petroleum is backing up, so we need a way to burn the petroleum since our petroleum is not being used enough. So we can do more solid fuel, but from petroleum this time. And I'm out of chemical plants, so we're going to go get some more. We're also going to queue up more research. Don't worry, I'll explain these as we eventually go along. Once we're done setting up our oil. We're in the process, by the way, you guys might have seen, but we're in the process of researching rocket fuel, right? So eventually, also we're not getting enough red science. I need to upgrade those to blue, so that way we craft red science a little bit faster. So let's do that on our way back down to get more chemical plants. Craft red science a little bit faster. You craft gears a little bit faster. Lovely. Okay. Then we're going to drop off those extra assembly machines we just got. So let's grab those, drop those off. I don't have any extra resources, right? No, I do not. Okay, lovely. Chemical plants, come here, please. Let's grab another, like, 30 of these. And then head on back up. So hopefully this oil setup is starting to make sense, right, as we're building it out. I didn't want to just follow a blueprint, even though that's typically what I do. Because I wanted to, A, figure it out for myself. It's more fun that way. And B, I wanted to be able to explain it to you guys. And the best way for me to be able to explain it to you guys is to figure it out, right? So that's the plan there. So now our petroleum is backing up. We have the chemical plants that we need. So we're going to take the backed up petroleum and we're going to make solid fuel out of that too. That's the idea there. I think you can also make solid fuel out of heavy, but I'm not really worried about doing that. We don't have rocket fuel yet, right? Rocket fuel is, oh, it's at the end of the queue. Okay, well, we'll get it eventually. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and set up petroleum to solid fuel. to help burn the extra petroleum, right? And then we're going to add the solid fuel, not necessarily to our bus, but we're going to route it down here to help fuel the trains. So that way the trains don't need to use the coal to fuel itself. Instead, we can fuel it with the solid fuel. And that will help the trains go faster and it will last longer because solid fuel, if we grab one of these, right? Solid fuel provides 12 megajoules of power, and it also provides a bonus to vehicle acceleration and top speed, as you can see there. Versus the coal gives, if I remember right, maybe I can see it from here. Where's coal? Coal. I can't see coal from here. Maybe I can see it from here. There we go. You can see here that coal has a fuel value of 4 megajoules. So solid fuel is much more efficient. And the solid fuel from the light oil is more efficient than the solid fuel from the petroleum, but I'm not too concerned about the differences there. So if we look at this one, you can see this one gives 12. Oh no, it's actually the same. It's exactly the same. I thought it was different. Turns out it's not. It's exactly the same. I'm wrong there. No worries. But yeah, I always just end up mixing them like this anyway, because even if there was a difference, I wouldn't really worry too much about it. So we're going to go ahead and turn our excess petroleum into solid fuel as well. Let's get that stuff powered on. Throw some lights in there too. There we go. And then we need to route our petroleum up here. And then again, we're going to put a circuit to dictate when the petroleum gets turned into solid fuel in order to help balance things out. There we go. So where's our petroleum? Our petroleum is here. Okay. So let's see, do I already have I don't have a circuit on when to make plastic and stuff, right? And I probably don't need it. Yeah, we use it for plastic and sulfur first. And then is there anything else that petroleum goes into? Let's see, it goes into sulfur. It goes into plastic. I think those are the two main things it goes into. So we don't really need to put a circuit there because we want those two things to just constantly work. And then if there's any excess, then we'll go ahead and turn it into solid fuel. So we're going to go ahead and bring it up. And then go ahead and throw well, no, that's fine. Piping there, and then a pipe there, a pump there, pipe there, and then there we go. Again, we need to power it on, and we need to bring our information up. But right now, petroleum is not on our circuit network. We don't know how much petroleum is in this tank, so let's go ahead and hook that up. So we're going to hook that up here, and then this is already carrying everything up to here, and then that's carrying everything up to here, so we just need to connect that to that and then to the pump, I think. And now let's check the pump. Does the pump know about, yes it does, the pump knows about petroleum. Lovely. So now we can go ahead and say, okay, we want you to make solid fuel as long as there is more than, let's say, as long as there's more than like 15,000 petroleum, then go ahead and make solid fuel. And now you can see we have lots of solid fuel being made. Excellent. So now let's go ahead and route that down to our trains. This is going to be a long way down. We might even train it down to our trains. Nah, I'm going to be lazy and just belt it down. That's fine. Let's see. Go ahead and go like here. And then go up. There we go. That's how you can also plan, right? You can go to map view, zoom in, grab your belt, hold shift, and then go ahead and place ghosts so that way you know how far you need to go before you turn. So there we go. Now let's route this down. And then let's see. Our train we could route it through here. It's already kind of tight there. But we could. Whatever. I'm going to play the snake through game. We'll just snake it through and figure out how to get down there. It's fine. It doesn't need to be the most organized thing on the planet. It just needs to work. That's how Factorio works. Hey, we've almost got rocket fuel, by the way. So we're going to be able to tweak our... We're going to be able to tweak our oil setup here in just a little bit in order to include rocket fuel in our circuit equations. So we're going to go ahead and go across like that. And then we'll just snake it down this way. That'll work. And then we can go from here to there. And then we can go from here down here to here to here. And then we can go ahead and remove that. And I do not have enough room for all that coal. So I'm just going to go ahead and store it. There we go. And there we go. Oh, also, let's change to stack inserters. So that way things go even faster. Careful not to run on the train tracks. You don't want to die. Okay. So now we've got solid fuel to fuel the train. The train's going to go ahead and keep running on coal for a little while longer. Are you coming back up? Yes, you are. Lovely. So yeah, the train's going to run on coal for a little while longer, and that's fine. And then once it burns through its coal, it will start to use solid fuel. So right now you can see here, it's running on coal, and it's got plenty of it. But eventually, it'll run on solid fuel. So let's throw our extra solid fuel in there too. I'm going to throw an extra chest here for the coal. Okay. Lovely, lovely. And we've got the rocket fuel done. So let's go ahead and keep researching stuff. And then where is the rest of our solid fuel? Is it just because it's not... Oh. Is light oil being used all the way? Light oil is cracking, but it's not becoming solid fuel. But I want it to be solid fuel first, right? There's something up with my circuits. I would rather have... Oh, I think I know what it's doing. I was hoping that it would use both. But yeah, let's go check it out. But either way, we are now fueling our train with solid fuel. And there's going to be a bajillion solid fuel. And eventually this is all going to back up, because right now we only have one train. And our one train's not going that far, so it's not going to burn through the fuel that fast. But it is going to go a little bit faster now, because the solid fuel will help speed it up. So let's take a look at my circuit conditions again. It might be doing something I'm not expecting. So we are enabling cracking from light to petroleum if there is more than 15,000 light oil. We are doing okay, so there's plenty of light oil in the pipe. So if we look at this, oh, I forgot to actually set the light oil there. There we go, there we go, there we go. Problem solved. I was gonna say, it should do both. Both of those things are true. Should do both. So right now it's disabled because there's less than 15K. Yes, there's less than 15K, so it's not cracking. Hooray! Our circuit conditions are working. There is more than 7K, so it's being turned into solid fuel, but there is less than 15K, so it's not cracking. This is awesome. All right, now let's do rocket fuel. So rocket fuel needs solid fuel and light oil, right? So let's go ahead and get that done. So we have the solid fuel already, and we have the light oil already. So we can go ahead and just build it along here. We can just build it along here. Or we can build it above. Let's build it above just to keep this like vertical structure thing going. So let's go like that. And we're gonna need a lot of rocket fuel, just as a heads up. A lot, a lot, a lot. So let's do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's do like 20 of these guys. So this is gonna output onto a belt. We're going to need to input. Let's go ahead and set the recipe. Where is rocket fuel? Wait. Oh, rocket fuel I think is made in an assembler actually, not in a chemical plant. Let's see, where's rocket fuel? There we go. Yep, it's made in an assembly machine. My bad. My bad, but we're still gonna want like a bunch of these. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's go ahead and set you to rocket fuel. And then we're going to have light oil as an input. And solid fuel as an input. So we want light oil here. And then we want solid fuel as an input. And we can use long-handed inserters, because right here this structure is not allowing. Actually, you know what we probably could do? I can make this nicer. Hold on. I have an idea. Let's see if my idea works. I think I can put these like this. Let's try that. Stick a pipe there and go like that. And then we should have enough room, I think, for regular inserters. Let's try that. Yes. That's better. Now we have room for fast inserters instead of long-handed inserters. There we go. A little bit cleaner. Hooray! Hooray for my brain. Good job, brain. Good job, brain. So solid fuel will go there. Light oil will go here. We'll output rocket fuel. And then we're going to want to do the same thing on the other side, because trust me, we're going to need a lot of rocket fuel, because guess what? That's going to actually fuel our rocket. We can also use rocket fuel to fuel our trains to make them go even faster than when running on solid fuel. But I'm not going to worry about that this playthrough. If you mega base, then giving your trains rocket fuel will make them go faster. There's also another fuel too that I think you get from uranium. Some kind of nuclear rocket fuel that goes even faster. I'm not sure if that's space exploration mod only or not, but because I have not actually experimented with that yet. So you never know. But if there is uranium rocket fuel, that would make your trains even faster. And then we're going to go ahead and connect these two together like that. Perfect. Oh my gosh, I am a genius. I am a genius. Okay, and then we're going to do a pipe, and we're going to do a pump, and then we're going to do a pipe, pipe, pipe. And then we're going to bring the light oil up here. I'm just going to pipe that whole thing. And then let's power this on. And then we're going to throw our circuit condition on there. And here. So now our pump should know about the light oil, which it does. And so we want it to do rocket fuel first. So maybe we don't even circuit condition it. Yeah, I think we don't even circuit condition it. I think we just have it do rocket fuel. Never mind. Let's go ahead and remove the circuit. There we go. No circuit condition. We just want it to do rocket fuel whenever it can. Lovely. Now let's get this stuff all hooked up to power. Awesome. I'm not gonna lie, I feel really smart figuring that out. And then we need to output the rocket fuel. There we go. And now we just need to route the solid fuel all the way around, right? So we're going to do this. And then we're just going to play the route solid fuel game. Like that. And we need to input the solid fuel. We may need even more rocket fuel than that, but it's all good. It's all good. All right, let's go ahead and start routing the solid fuel up. And I want to prioritize it to the left. So I want to make sure it goes to the rocket fuel first, because we have plenty fueling the trains. So there we go. Yeah, and it doesn't matter what solid fuel you feed into it. You can feed it petroleum solid fuel or light solid fuel. Either way, it's solid fuel. And you can see rocket fuel takes a long time to craft, so that's one of the reasons why we have so many. Let's go ahead and throw lights. Light. Okay. Lovely. Are we not making enough solid fuel to keep the rocket fuels happy? Wow. Maybe not. Wow. How much petroleum is in here? We still have a lot of petroleum. So let's go ahead and make more petroleum solid fuel. Because why not? Let's do like another 10. See, and this is kind of the balancing act, right? Let's make it bigger. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We can do the same thing with the light oil too, because why not? Keep things nice and symmetrical, and again, we can blow through the excess light oil really quickly if we do this anyway. This is a really long video, guys, but it's all good. I wanted to make sure that I can finish the oil setup in one video for you guys, so hopefully this didn't kill you guys off when it comes to watching. Maybe you guys grabbed a bowl of popcorn or something like that after seeing how long the video was. But we're almost done, I think. We're almost done. Now we're just kind of balancing everything out, making sure everything is all set up nice. There we go. That's all the light oil hooked up. And that's all the petroleum hooked up. Let's go ahead and power everything on. Those aren't in the same spot as the others. I guess I'll start from the right side just to kind of keep things nice and even. Let's get lights on there. So lights there and there, there and there, there, there and there. Okay. Now we have even more solid fuel, and you can see the rocket fuel starting to stack up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and buffer those into chests. I'm just going to throw all this rocket fuel into a whole bunch of chests. Because, trust me, we're going to need it. So don't even worry about it. We're going to need it. We are going to need it. So yeah, I think that's everything. Let me double check the recipes, make sure I didn't miss anything. So we've got the solid fuel done. We've got the lubricant done. We've got all the advanced oil, the cracking all set up. I think I've got all the logistics worked out. We got rocket fuel. We've got plenty of new stuff, which we'll get into next time. We're going to update our armor next time because it's going to be sick. We're also going to start working on bots soon. So we look at the frames. Where's the robot frames? Yeah, there we go. They need electric engines, and electric engines need lubricant. So you can see why we needed to set all this up. But yeah, I think that's everything. So just as a quick review of our circuit conditions, you can see now our refineries, they're all working. Everything is constantly working. Our petroleum is now being used to make solid fuel. Solid fuel is being used to make rocket fuel. Our light oil is being used to make rocket fuel first, and then solid fuel second, and then cracking to petroleum third. Our heavy oil is being used to make lubricant first, and then once the lubricant is full, then it will go ahead and crack down to light oil in order to keep that working. Let's see. What's this condition on that? Greater than 10K. Okay, there we go. Now it's waiting. Basically, as soon as that hits 10K, the pump feeds more oil into that. Okay, well that makes sense. And then from there, we've got plenty of solid fuel production to fuel our trains, which is completely backed up now, by the way. And then our rocket fuel production here, which will continue to buffer there until that's all backed up. So yeah, we are looking great. This is amazing. This is amazing. Now what I want to do before we end the video is I want to take the lubricant and I want to move it down to our bus. And the reason for that is because we're going to use that lubricant in ingredients down the line, right? For things like electric batteries, electric engines and things like that. So it'll be helpful to have it down there. So let's go ahead and bring that down. We might run out of underground pipes before we get down there, but we'll do the best that we can. I didn't think that was going to make it. I was just kind of eyeballing it on the minimap. Let's see how close I was. Oh, I was so close to getting it onto the bus correctly. All good. Let's go ahead and grab more underground pipes since we're right here. And I'm going to move it down the center for now. And then I'll move it back up onto the top of the bus once we get out of this clustered area, this highly congested area. So we're going to do something like that. Boom. Now we have lubricant on the bus. Lovely. And then just for good measure, let's go ahead and throw a pump on here somewhere, because we did go a bit of a distance. Let's go ahead and throw a pump like right here. Other way. There we go. There we go. Cool, cool. Cool, cool. We got oil all done, guys. We got oil all done. Let's make sure that our science production is all working. It looks like it's all working now. Yes, it is. Let's see. Let's check on other stuff too. So as far as actual usage goes, oh, now the blue science isn't holding us up. The red science is holding us up, and the green science is going to hold us up. So let's go ahead and upgrade those real quick. Oh, we'll take care of that next time. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Oh, I'm right here. Let's just do it. That's the thing about Factorio. There's always one more little thing that you want to do, and it's so hard to quit. It's so hard to quit. All right, let's empty our inventory out. So take these, throw them in there. Take the solid fuel. We'll throw that away eventually. Let's go ahead and throw our extra stone away. Throw our extra wood away. Okay. Let's put our... well, I'll leave the train stuff out. That's fine. Let's put our oil stuff away because I think we're actually all done with oil for now. See, do I have more chemical plants? I do not. Cool. And then storage tanks. I don't need those anymore either. So let's go ahead and grab those. Whoops. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. Okay. Nice and cleaned up. At least for the most part. Alrighty. I need to stop. I need to stop. The recording's been going way too long. Alrighty. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all had a good time, and I'll see y'all next time.